Hello and welcome to the second episode of the NIS Cast podcast. Again, we are coming to you straight from the Tagamma campus, and we're still celebrating middle school for 2 weeks in a row. But this time, we're not just talking about school and academics, we're talking sports. Now, we're talking sports because our students are incredibly athletic, and our guests today aren't just normal athletes, they are champions. Up first from grade 6, we have Sama Islam. Sama, tell us all about yourself and your sport.
Hi, I'm Samanara. I train horseback riding. I'm in grade 6D. I've been training horseback riding. I rode a horse since I was 4 years old. I started training about 3 years ago.
Nice, thank you very much. Okay, next up, we're getting very creative with gymnastics, and we have Layla Saad from grade 7. Layla, the mic is yours.
Hello, my name is Layla Muhammad. I'm in grade 7A. I've been training gymnastics for most of my life. I've been training for about 7 years. And I think I've gone pretty far up, and it's one of my favorite sports I've ever played.
Awesome. And I love how all three sports that we're talking about today are not just traditional like football or basketball. We have some very interesting sports, and because last but definitely not least, we have the one and only reigning defending national squash champion from grade 8, Yassin Emad. Yassin, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Yassin Emad Kuritam. I'm playing squash since I was 5 years old. I played it because my dad, he was a champ, so I played it and I won the British Junior Open. It's the biggest tournament in the juniors, and I won it. This is my best sport right now. Thank you.
This is absolutely mind-blowing, and we're so proud that our students can have such good range when it comes to different fields, because it's not just about they're not just good sports stars. No, they're also very, very, very good students and with some of the highest marks in their classes. So, but first, Yassin already gave us a hint about this. But our first question is actually, why did you choose this sport out of all of the others? Why not traditional football, basketball, swimming? Why these specific sports? Sama, could you start?
Well, I played a lot of sports in my life, but my best one yet is horseback riding, because the sport depends on the horse and yourself at the same time. It doesn't only depend on you. And a horse is a wild beast. He's a wild animal, so it's very hard to control him. And I like it because it really brings out my fitness, and it helps me socialize with animals and humans.
Do you feel a kind of connection with your horse?
Well, I don't have a horse yet, but every horse I ride, I feel like I have a connection with it. But we also have to learn how to treat the horse and have to learn about the behavior of the horse, just to control it and just to have a bond with each horse.
Wow. Okay. When did you start horseback riding?
I started when I was 4 years old, but I started training like a professional training about 3 years ago, or 2.5 years ago.
That's so impressive. Honestly, that's so amazing. Layla, what about you? Why gymnastics?
So I've tried a lot of sports, but I've always stuck with my favorite sport, which has been gymnastics for such a long time. I just think it helps me have more fitness. It helps with my regular life, and especially it helps with muscle memory, which is something important for pretty much everything.
Okay, do you think that with muscle memory, do you think that gymnastics helps you in your everyday life in any way?
Yes, of course. Basically, since muscle memory is your muscle remembers what to do, so I can basically multitask without having confusion, since I already do that in training.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So if you're doing chores, for example, then your body doesn't get confused at what you're doing. You can just switch on and off between what you're doing.
Yeah, basically.
That's such an interesting point. I never thought about this. I always thought it was just for, flexibility and fitness.
No, it's muscle memory too.
Awesome. Yassin, what about you? Why? You said because your dad was a squash player.
My dad was a champ, so I wanted to compete what he did, and squash isn't in Olympics, so I want to play squash more and more and help squash get to the Olympics by far, because I think squash is one of the most hard sports, and it's very healthy for any athlete. So I think I want to play more squash to help squash be in the Olympics.
Do you think that you've beaten your dad, or do you think he's still better?
I think my dad's still better, but maybe when I grow up, I can be better.
Of course. Okay, that's so interesting. All right. Now, how do you? Because I imagine that you train a lot, all of you. You train multiple times a week, of course. How do you balance that between your school life and your studying with sports? What do you prioritize? I don't think you prioritize any because all three of you are really good at both of the things that you do. So how do you balance that, Sam?
Well, first I have my goal is every day I train 2 times a week, and in the summer I train 3 times a week. But mostly I try to finish what I have goals each day about my studying and my assignments that I do. I try to finish those goals before I go to training. So after I go to training, I can rest and have some and eat and stuff like that.
So time management, basically.
Exactly, it's time management.
Wow, that's such an important skill to learn from a young age because once you get that down, you're basically just going to be like this for the rest of your life. So that's a very good point to bring up. Layla, what about you? How do you balance both lives?
Okay, so basically I have like 4 days of training a week, but they're not right after each other. So I take maybe one of the days I have training, I maybe study before training, and then the next day I rest a little bit and then study again or do some of my assignments.
Do you ever get 4 days a week? Do you ever get tired? Do you ever get bored?
No, I've been doing that for like 7 years, so.
Wow. Yassin, what about you? How do you balance both?
I balance both by like I train like from 4 hours to 5 in a day and 6 days in a week. So I manage it by doing my assignments and everything and practice on school and everything like 3 days or something and focus also on squash.
Awesome. Okay. Is there any role model that you have for the sport that you're practicing? Maybe like a famous gymnast, a famous horseback rider, a famous squash player?
Well, I don't have I don't have much of a role model, but my role model is my dad because he trained horseback riding like 22 years ago. He recently came back to horseback riding, but he's like not like the best, but he is like one of the best riders in like the arena. And he's definitely my role model because I have my coach and I have him. So both of them, their knowledge is coming to me. So I'm definitely getting a lot of role model from them.
I love it. I love how parents can be such an inspiration in that regard. Layla, what about you? Any gymnast role model?
I don't have a certain role model, but I've always liked the art of gymnastics. Like basically, it's very nice when you see people. It looks very graceful, although it might be hard. And I've just generally always liked that.
Okay, awesome. Yassin, other than your dad, any famous squash players?
Yeah, there's one called Miguel Rodriguez. He's from Colombia. I've been his fan from when I was 5 years old or 6 years old. So I wish to be like the same as him and be #1 ranked in the world.
Awesome. Okay. Across your sports careers, so to speak, so far, have you faced any challenges that you would like to mention, and how did you overcome these challenges?
One of my challenges was my like how small I was. I was pretty small and I'm pretty light, so the horse finds it easy to like throw me off the horse, throws me off. That was definitely one of the hardest thing that I come through. Also, something that I come through as well is that when I fall, sometimes either like the horse can hit me, mostly the horse doesn't hit you, but like you have the fear that when you fall the horse is just gonna step on you. And that's like something like the biggest fear is that because a horse is so big, it's a 5-ton animal, and like I can't the imaginary that he's stronger than you, faster than you, and even smarter than you. The horse is very smart, so that's the biggest fear is the horse itself.
I love how we're learning so much about horses, not just the sport itself. I never knew so much about horses. Layla, any challenges that you faced?
I haven't faced certain challenges, but I find it pretty hard that there's some moves that require certain like muscles to be strong, which is very hard to have all your muscles equal. And I find that like kind of challenging, but over time, it gets easy to manage making your muscles all the same, but it needs a lot of fitness.
I think the something that's notable about most gymnasts is that they have very, very, very strong arms. Do you think that you've achieved this?
Yeah.
That's great. Yassin, what about you?
Yeah, my most challenging point of my life that I got leukemia last year. It was very very challenging to me. I was disappointed, and I was the past year I was in tears and all thing. But it was challenging to me to pass this moment of this time, and I wanted to be number one again and play squash again. So this was the most challenging year in my life. I think.
But you did it. You did it and you got back.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
That's absolutely marvelous. That is such an inspiration, not just in the sport, but in life. And I'm sure that everyone listening right now, your friends, your classmates, everyone listening, even those who don't know you, will be very, very inspired, because I already knew something about this, and I honestly found it so inspirational, even for me. So thank you so much, and thank you for being so strong.
Thank you.
Okay, another question. First, something outside of sports. Can you quickly tell me what job you want to do when you grow up, like unrelated to sports, very quickly? Sama.
Well, a job unrelated to sports. I want to be a vet because I love animals. So, like, I love to be a vet and an equestrian at the same time.
Do you think that your experience with horses has helped you make that dream?
Well, like, vets is most about medical, but you also have to like treat and know how they behave and stuff like that. So horses definitely helped me like overcome the idea that I want to be a vet.
Wow. I love how that's a very creative, or that's a very new thing, because most people when they mention medicine, they want to be normal doctors. So vet is honestly so interesting. Layla, what do you want to do?
So I basically want to become like some sort of engineer, and the reason for that is basically I'm really good at math and I'm good at science, and I find that
It's a humble brag. Yeah.
and I find that
Not social studies, but okay.
no so I find that if I'm good at something, I might as well use it.
Exactly. But do you love it? That's the most important part.
Yeah, I like science and I like maths, especially since it's easy for me.
Okay. Yassin, what about you?
I think I want to be like a physiotherapy doc or something, but only physiotherapy for like sports injuries or something, or business. I don't know what I want to choose now. Maybe when I grow up, I'll choose.
Again, very interesting with the medicine, but from a different perspective. Vets, physiotherapists, not just traditional doctors. That's very imaginative. Okay, if you were to let go of these jobs and, like, let's say that you get an opportunity to be a professional athlete in the sport that you're practicing, like a world famous gymnast, world famous horseback rider, squash player, and this would be your career, your full-time job, would you do this instead of the jobs that you just mentioned?
Well, yes, because it depends. Because if you like win a lot of stuff, like my goal in life is just to be an equestrian, not to just win money. But if I have the opportunity to win money and win like competitions and be a world champion, that will be amazing. I'll love it.
So you would choose professional horseback rider over vet?
Well, my goal is to be like a vet and at the same time a professional horseback rider. But if I have to choose between them, I'll be a professional horseback rider.
Wants the best of both worlds, like Batman, like vet by day and professional horseback rider by night. Layla, what about, would you become a gymnast over an engineer?
Definitely.
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 I'm very confident in that answer.
Basically, I would choose being a gymnast over an engineer. It's something I've done for my whole life. While being an engineer is something I'll still have to study
Okay.
over time. So
Yeah. So
it makes more sense.
It makes more sense, of course. Yassin, would you be a professional squash player over a physiotherapist or businessman?
I think nothing for me can stop the certificate from school or everything, but I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna practice in school to get a nice certificate that can help me if I didn't do great in squash. I can also have the beside job that will be physiotherapy, I think. So also not throw the squash away because I've been through everything to play only squash to play, not only to win tournaments, to win to play squash. So if something happened in squash or I've been not good at all, so I'll also play squash, but not like before. I'm gonna focus on physiotherapy more, I think.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. To wrap this up, thank you. First of all, absolutely wonderful thoughts from everyone. I've enjoyed this so much listening to you. I feel like I'm learning more than I expected, which is really interesting. But last thing that we're going to do, or that we basically do at the end of every episode, is if you want to send a message to anyone on the outside, maybe someone who's listening, maybe you're a teacher, a student, your mom or dad, anyone that you'd like to send a specific message to?
The specific message is to my family. My family helped me through my horseback riding career, and hopefully they're gonna help me in my horseback riding career. And I would love that. And they're next to me all the time. They're like helping me overcome like the obstacles. They're helping me they're helping me engage my horseback riding career.
Awesome. Layla, any special message?
Okay, I have a message. It's not directed to a certain person. It's just directed to everyone in general. But I just think if you've been doing something for a long time, never just give up on it. You'll really regret it if you give up on it. Just continue with something that you've done your whole life and love, because in the end, you'll get somewhere really high and you'll be happy that you never gave up on it. And personally, I've like gone through something where I just wanted to stop, but my family helped me to continue, and I'm happy they helped me to continue.
That's a beautiful message. I feel like everyone can learn something from that. Yassin, what about you? Special message?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna thank my family a lot because they helped me through my hardest times. And they still cheering me up to win tournaments, and they would cheer me up to do everything I could. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. Nobody ever sends a message to any teacher. We need to do better. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us and for giving us a wonderful second episode. And hopefully we'll see you all again. Thank you to everyone who's listening, and goodbye.